So do you think P1's true?
I think P1.
Yes or no?
You can see. Okay, P1. Well, there's a sticker in the middle of it. Oh yeah, premise 1. If no necessary thing is possible, and a contingent totality is possible. Well, I don't even know if that's possible. That assertion right there is possible. Then the possible contingent totality couldn't possibly have an external explanation. Do you have an argument for that?
I'm unclear on why this guy's laughing right now. Like, you know what?
I'm sorry.
Mute your mic up, sir. Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. Good boy.
Hey, mute up.
No, anyways, the reason why this is possible is just because our notion of logical possibility, it just talks about whether or not it's the case that you can apply the propositions into a conjunctive truth table. Hold on, wait, give me-
Oh, he has to grab his argument from.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Perfect. So the reason why this is possible is just because we can plug the postulates P and Q into a conjunctive truth table and have the postulates output as true under at least one evaluation. And we have the postulates, they're going to be internally coherent such that there's no confliction.
No, you can't be
with the
trusted.
axioms of
No,
classical
you
logic.
can't be trusted with natural language. No, you
what I
can't be
need you to
trusted with
do-
natural language.
What I need you to do
You
is
can't be trusted
actually
with natural
contend
language.
with the argument. What do
can't
you
be
mean I can't be trusted?
You
What
can't be
does that
trusted
mean?
with natural language.
You can't track the natural language motivation I just gave?
I said that you can't be trusted with natural language. Can you formalize it?
What does it mean to not be trusted?
What do you think
Don't
trust?
dodge that question, by the way. What does it mean to not be trusted with natural language? Does that just mean you can't track the natural language argument?
No, it means that you can't do a 540 taekwondo kick. What do you think it means?
So that means you. So it is. It does mean you can't
don't
track.
dodge the question.
So it does mean you can't track.
Don't dodge the question.
I think it means that you can't track the natural language motivation I just gave. So you want me
You
to
think
put it
that's
in
what I meant? You think that's
formalisms
what I
for
meant?
you? Yep,
So you
that's what I
think
think
that
you
was
meant. Yes, that's exactly what I think you
think
meant.
that's the semantics
So
of what
I'm
I
actually
was-
going to give you a supplementary argument. I'm actually going to put that on the screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the supplementary argument for P1 on the screen. Since you want it in formalism so bad because you can't track the natural language motivation I just gave you, sir.
Well, you have a little bit of a broken English, so I mean, I'm not going to put that on me.
You think I have broken English? What does it mean to have broken English? Right, you're getting blown out with the meta. You can't contend me on the meta, nor can you contend me with the actual argument. So I'm going to put the supplementary
You're going to
argument
ask the
on the
question,
screen.
and then you're going to ask the question, and then I'll let me answer. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm going to do, sir.
Do you think you look good right now?
Yo, Lucario, I have an idea, bro.
I think I look wonderful, actually. I look way better than you.
And you admitted that. Huh?
Yo, Lucario, I have an idea, bro. Look,
Yo, what's good?
so first of all, I can do a 540 kick. Hey, bro.
Yeah, this guy's annoying. Like, I'm not paying attention to this debate really, but
Yeah. By the way, I can do a 540 kick, so that was false. And two, bro. I thought we can do a 2v2.
oh yeah, we can do 2v2.
Wait, is it too full screen? I can just read it out if it's too
Or
full
you could just
screen.
send it to me on Discord.
No, we're gonna say it for the recording, sir.
You can
Okay,
read it
so
out loud on
premise
Discord.
one is just that a proposition is possible if and only if it's true under at least one coherent valuation. This is analytically true from the definitions of logically possible. Premise two is that it is the case that the conjunction P and Q, where P equals there is a contingent thing, and Q equals that contingent thing has an external explanation, has at least one true valuation under a conjunctive truth table. Therefore,
What's meant by God, by the way?
a necessary being, sir. Full stop.
A God is a necessary. Oh, and that's
Yeah, God's a necessary being. Yeah, get over it. I understand that that's idiosyncratic, but it doesn't matter because you evaluate arguments under the stipulative definitions that the argument uses, so that doesn't
Wait,
fucking matter.
holy
You're getting
shit,
beat the
bro.
fuck up right now. This is terrible.
Oh my
So,
God. I take the
And
view
then
that God doesn't exist.
premise three is just
I
that
think
the
God doesn't
valuation
exist.
is coherent.
I think God doesn't exist.
I'm giving you an argument. I'm giving you an argument in favor of the proposition that God does exist.
Don't
This
give
is
a
the
fuck about
supplementary
your argument.
argument for
Look,
premise one of
Square circles
the
don't exist,
main
and God
argument, sir.
can't exist. Square circles don't exist, therefore God can't exist.
What's the argument for the conditional?
If squared circles exist or can't
Yeah,
exist,
what's the argument for the conditional, sir? Don't
Because-
dodge.
well,
Don't
look,
dodge that question. You're getting beat up right now.
If
Don't dodge that question.
If A can't exist, then all biconditionals with respect to A can't exist as well, vicariously.
What's the
God is a
argument for that conditional?
God is a biconditional with a squared circle. Therefore, God can't exist.
Wait, God's in a biconditional with a square circle?
Yeah,
What's the
because I
argument
just-
for that?
No, well, I just defined God as a square circle. See how dumb that is?
You defined God as a square circle?
You have to engage with
Do
the
you think
semantics
that's
of
saying
the
anything
argument.
substantive towards what
Oh
I'm
my
saying?
shit. Wait, the
Do you
only
think that
thing
debunks
you're
my
saying is
conception of
God
God? Yes or no?
is
Don't dodge that. Does that debunk my conception of God?
Wait, hold on. You
Yes or
actually
no?
stepped up-
Don't
hold
dodge
on.
that, sir.
You
Don't
tried to
dodge
step up.
that.
Wait,
Please
hold
don't
on.
dodge
You tried to
that.
step up.
Please
Wait,
don't
hold on.
dodge
You tried
that.
to
Don't
step up.
dodge
Wait,
that.
hold on.
Answer the
Hold on.
question.
Hold on. You
No,
tried to
no
step
one's going to be
up-
holding on doing
hold
anything.
hold
Don't
hold
dodge and
You
answer
tried
that
to step up
question.
to Lucario,
We're getting beat up right
and
now.
You tried to step
Now,
up
to be
the
clear,
argument himself, and you actually
I deny that your
took a level
conceptual
one
scheme is
argument
rationally
where you just
acceptable in regards to the
redefined
argument you just gave.
the necessary
So what we're gonna have you do, and you're getting mic mogged right now, you're getting over talk. I don't know why you're trying to do this thing where you over talk when you're getting absolutely fucking mic mogged. Nobody can hear you right now because you're getting drowned the fuck out right now. This is terrible for you.
You
So
look
what I
like-
want you to do is give me an argument in favor of the inferential framework there being rationally acceptable, sir. What's the argument?
Yo,
look terrible.
Yo,
what's
Lucario, yo, this
What's the
nigga,
argument?
this nigga Cap getting elite comms by Kylo, bro.
You're getting blown the fuck out right now.
Oh my God.
Do you make the argument that your conceptual scheme is rationally acceptable,
This guy
sir?
worked so hard. This guy worked so
Is that
hard.
premise one?
We have to prove
Is that
it
premise
all.
one?
Lucario.
Frida, go. I want you to keep this a one-on-one, sir. Don't interrupt this recording because this recording is going to get posted of him getting beat up, and I don't want all these outside factors being into the recording. That's going to muddy up the recording. So to be clear,
Your stutters are muddying
Lucario,
up
what's
the
the
recording.
argument in favor of the proposition that your inferential framework, when you gave me that argument, is going to be rationally acceptable, sir? What's the argument?
Look, you don't have to attack my.
What's the argument? Is that premise one?
Calm down. Calm down.
Is that premise one?
Calm down. You're interrupting. You're
premise one. Calm down. Premise two. What's premise two?
That's
premise two. I'm acting uncordially. What's premise three?
Bro, are you actually going to debate? Or are you just going to
premise three? Are you actually going to debate? I'm still waiting on the argument. We can debate when you give me the argument. You're going to beat up right now.
Did you think this looked good?
Yeah, I do. I think I look fucking amazing.
You think you look amazing?
I look fucking amazing. Yeah, I look amazing. I look great. I look beautiful. I look amazing right now. And I just want to flag for the recording that I've demonstrated to him why P1 was true. I gave a supplementary argument for the premise, which he put in question, and I met my burden of proof. Right, which just means that
why do you keep stuttering?
He has the burner rejoinder right now to actually,
why do you keep
attack the argument, and he's failed to do that. No, I also put one burden on him that he's failed to address, which is just that I questioned his inferential framework in regards to his defeater that God doesn't exist. I questioned that, right? I questioned that his inferential framework is going to be rationally acceptable, insofar as there's the feasible reason supporting the things that he's embedding into that scheme, right? And all that means is that there's no violation of the analyticity of the second kind. He's getting blown out. This is terrible. Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
But look, just to be clear, you gave an argument for a necessary being, and you redefined God's existence as just that which is a necessary being. And so you said that I have to engage with the semantics of the argument. I gave a counter argument in which I redefined the semantics.
Yeah, I put in question the inferential framework of your argument.
You're interrupting again.
Yeah, I know. I am interrupting.
You're interrupting again.
I know. I'm aware that I'm interrupting.
Look, if we're gonna debate, you're gonna be put on the buzzer, okay? If you want to talk to, if you want me to acknowledge your existence, if you want me to acknowledge your dialectical existence, you're gonna have to control yourself. If you want me to acknowledge your dialectical existence, you're going to have to control yourself. You can't control yourself. You're an ape. You can't control yourself. You're an ape. You can't control yourself. You're an ape.
Do you think that looks good? Like, I control this conversation.
Hold on. It looks great on anybody's part when the interlocutor has to interrupt and deprive their interlocutor, the fellow interlocutor, of the substance that they're providing to the conversation.
Stop dodging. Give me the argument. You're gonna give me the argument, sir. You're not gonna dodge. Don't dodge. I have you right now. I grabbed you by your collar. And I'm lifting you up with one hand right now. This is terrible. You're my son. You're literally my son. This is terrible. So give me the argument in favor of the proposition that your conceptual scheme is rationally acceptable. Right? Because if it's not rationally acceptable, then we have reasons to reject the argument you gave in favor of the proposition that God necessarily doesn't exist. Right? So what's the argument?
What do you mean by rational when you say rationally acceptable?
Yeah, that just means that there's the feasible reason supporting the things you're embedding into the scheme, sir.
Supporting a proposition or the elements?
Supporting the elements of your inferential framework. Okay, which is just the underlying metalinguistic apparatus. So give me an argument in favor of the proposition, sir.
So wait, which proposition did I give?
I want an argument in favor of the proposition that your conceptual scheme is rationally acceptable.
My conceptual scheme. What conceptual scheme did I even give?
Yeah, you necessarily gave a conceptual scheme when you give some type of system of inference where you're kind of adopting these things to organize and make predictions, right, and even coordinate actions, right? You used that when you gave me an argument that God necessarily doesn't exist, right? You have this type of system of representation and inference, right? This is terrible for you. So what I want you to do is give me an argument that conceptual scheme is going to be rationally acceptable, sir, insofar as there's no violation of the analyticity of the second kind. And if you give that, then I think we can proceed, right? You're not escaping the attic right now. This is terrible for you.
Hold on. What's the argument? When you explain that I have a burden of justifying...
You do have the burden.
Calm down. When you give an inference as to why... Calm down. You're interrupting again. When you give an inference explaining why the conclusion is such that I have a burden to justify my conceptual scheme, you're also using an inference, and I just want to know, what conceptual scheme did you use for that one?
Do you think saying there's a dialectical obligation necessarily invokes an inference? This is a blunder, because you can have some type, you can be a global non-inferentialist in regards to the dialectical obligation there. See that you're not deriving the obligation in virtue of some type of inference.
Do you not remember the reasoning that you just gave for why I have a burden?
I gave you a reason as to why there's a burden. That doesn't necessarily imply that there's some type of inferential framework, obviously. So what I want you to do, and I'm going to explain to the audience why you're winning, just as Kylo, obviously pointed out in the chat. I'm winning right now because you've failed to meet your burden, right? You tried to do this thing where you try to, pull out this type of weird reductio, and you're getting dominated right now. Yeah, you have the burden to justify why your conceptual scheme is acceptable.
Prove that.
I don't have to because of the dialectical obligation.
Prove that.
I don't have to, right? You're not going to get away from your burden, sir.
Yeah, well, I don't have to either.
Yeah, you're dialectically obligated, which just means that you do have to, sir. And all that means is that
but you're dialectically obligated
within the frame of discourse. Do you have an argument for that claim?
Yeah, but you're dialectically obligated.
Do you have an argument for that?
No, I don't have to give an argument.
You do. You're dialectically obligated. I already.
No, I'm not dialectically obligated. You were dialectically.
Actually, I'll give you an argument in favor of the dialectical obligation. So it seems to be the case that the concepts here are going to be conceptually ethical when we embed them into discourse practice. Right?
Why would I care about
and all that means to say is that it's going to carry some type of normative force. If it's the case that it carries some type of normative force, then you just have to give an argument, sir. So what's the argument? What's the argument? Stop dodging! Stop dodging! You were talking shit on my name for the past couple of weeks. You've been talking shit on my name. So you have to actually contest me. Contest me, buddy! You need to contest me! What's the argument?
Why would I accept the second premise?
I deny premises. By the way, I don't grant to have
So you
premises in
didn't,
my
so you
argument.
didn't give an argument. Okay.
No, I did give an argument
So that's
because
a
we use
concession.
these type of, non-classical kind of argumentation theories where premises aren't the type of things which necessarily obtain. Right? Obviously, if you're an Aristotelian about premises, you're going to be saying that there's some type of, internal, intrinsic subject-predicate relation such that it's intrinsic to the terms. We can go against this and adopt the type of non-classical frameworks, right? But so since you invoked the word premise, I want you to respond to the type of non-classical objections to the type of, Aristotelian theories of argumentation, sir.
What was the argument that you'd given?
Yeah, the argument was that it seems to be the case that it's conceptually ethical for you to have this burden when we embed it in our dialectical model. Given that it's conceptually ethical, it's going to carry some type of normative force, right? And that's going to be where we derive the obligation.
I'm sorry, but Gibbons.
I know you're sorry. This is terrible. I know you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
Do you agree that if I don't accept premises, asking me whether what's premise one is a confused question?
Look, what you wanted to do is you wanted
Do you agree? Do you agree? Don't dodge that question, sir. Do you agree?
Look, what you wanted to do is
Do you agree? Yeah, I know what I want to do. What I want to do is have you answer the question. Do you agree that if I don't accept premises, asking me if that's premise one of my argument is going to be the type of question which is malforms? Do you agree?
Do you agree? This is the exact same conversation.
Do you agree? You're nervous right now. You're getting drowned out. This is terrible. You're drowning in the dialectical ocean right now. You're getting killed by the shark. I'm a shark and I'm eating you alive right now. So what I want you to do is actually engage, please.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm going to be done when you actually engage with the question I just asked you.
You stuttered, just to be clear, and you said ax.
Yeah, I know I stuttered. Thank you for the astute observation, buddy. Now answer the question.
You don't have to attack me the same way that you attack me.
Answer the question, sir.
Do
Do you agree or not?
Does my username look like the English language to you? Why are you attacking me
Do
so
you
hard?
agree or not, bro?
Why are
Stop
you attacking
dodging.
me so hard?
Like, this is terrible. He's dodging the question. This is terrible. He thinks he looks good.
I answered your question.
Bro, I just want to flag for the recording that he has dodged the question about 10 times right now, where the question was just, do you agree that if I don't hold to premises, then I don't adopt the type of Aristotelian formalizations of premises? Then asking me if this is premise one of my argument is confused. Do you agree?
No.
No, you don't agree? Okay, and you don't agree in virtue of what? Motivate the dogmastic state.
I was explaining that, but you interrupted because you understood that I had an explanation.
Just motivate the dogmastic state, sir.
And you're going to keep
You're trying to
interrupting.
do this thing where you look calm and you're trying to, optic form, but it's not looking good for you. Where I've been in control of this entire conversation. You have no rhetoric. You're rhetorically incompetent, sir. So what I want you to do is give me some type of reason as to why you have that dogmastic state.
You started.
Well, also, I'm unclear on why we can't be some type of global dogmastic and limitivist in the robust sense. It's just that agents don't actually have belief states. What they actually have is just going to be some type of computational system which they adopt in order to organize experiences instead of dogmastic states, sir. So can you motivate that as well?
Well, Brayden, you're like hosting this debate, right?
Don't beg for the mod. Don't beg for the host.
I'm begging for this.
Don't beg for the host, bro. That's not going to work for
Can you
you.
allow me a minute to speak?
I'll give you 30 seconds, and if the question isn't answered in 30 seconds, you're going to get interrupted. So go ahead.
You can't control yourself. Your question is, why is it the case that I don't find it irrational to talk about premises when you say that you reject premises? Well, the reason why I don't find it irrational.
And wait. The question is a disjunction or conjunction now, sir. The question is a conjunction right now, sir. The question is a conjunction right now, sir.
Host, just drop
So
him and then you
the
can let him
rest
back.
of the
Host,
question was
drop him
just
and then you can let him
because you
back.
asked me a clarity question.
Brayden,
So
Brayden,
it was a conjunction, which was and. Why can't it be a dogmastic limitivist?
Brayden, just drop
All
him.
right, can we just give Lucario like a minute to respond to what's being
Keep saying
said?
can we? Like, why are you asking for permission? It's your live stream. Just drop him.
No,
You don't
I'm
drop
gonna
him.
mute him. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say. Well, no. We're just gonna keep muting, right? We're gonna allow each other. I'll do fucking talking stick. Like, I don't want to fucking do that, but like, holy
We
fuck.
can do 2 minute
just,
talking
like-
stick. We can do 2 minute talking stick.
All right, cool. Fucking Lucario gets the 2 minute first, and then whatever the fuck. I don't care. Just like, can we progress accordingly? Like fucking rational goddamn creatures. Holy shit. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I like how this moron wanted to come up to me and try to debate Lucario, but by debate, the most charitable interpretation that he could have been talking about when he said he wanted to debate me on God's existence was just redefine God's existence to be a necessary being without any of the omnipotent, omnibenevolent properties of the triomni properties. That's really stupid. I've also done a parody argument where I just define God as a squared circle and then I proved his non-existence, in which he hasn't been able to overcome that argument because he's philosophically incompetent. And that's just the charitable interpretation of what he meant by a debate. A non-charitable and a more fair interpretation of what he meant by a debate is where he gets a loud mic and he starts screaming over my audio decibels, not even talking to me, but talking at me. You're not debating Lucario, you're just screaming Lucario's name while you ramble about some non-premises that you hope to haphazardly put together on discord.com, by the way. This isn't Discord, this is TikTok. You can't spurg out like this. You look insane. But anyways, the reason why I find it not to be irrational to talk about the premises that you offer, when talking about why I have a burden to justify the conceptual schemes that I've presented, is when I asked you, why do I have that? Prove that. You said, oh, I don't have to give premises, I don't have to give an argument, but then you say that you did give an argument, and then we evaluate evaluated the substance of the argument, and then you actually used a particular term that shot yourself in the foot. You said that it was given. Now, I don't know if you know what given means, but given is a presupposition. What is a presupposition? A presupposition is a supposition that you had presupposed. It's a supposition that you preemptively had in the background. But what are the things that you kind of have in the background? Well, those are assumptions. Those are propositions. And when you have propositions that have an antecedent relationship to each other, because you also use the term because that's an antecedent relationship, then what you're doing is you're organizing propositions into a premise by premise format in which they follow an antecedent consequent relationship. You're just philosophically inept. You just want to scream over me. And honestly, I think it's kind of working. I might steal that idea one day.
All right, 2 minutes up. All right, cool. No cap.
He just admitted that it's working, by the way. Now, to be very clear, right, he redefined God's existence and he gave some type of argument. I actually put in question the argument, right? I put in question the conceptual scheme insofar as the linguistic framework he's using here. And he didn't actually give me some type of justification for that, right? He had that burden. Now, if we reflect back prior to this, right, he asked me for a supplementary argument for premise 1, right? I gave him a supplementary argument for premise 1 of the original argument where he didn't actually contend it, right? He didn't actually contend it because he failed to meet his burden of rejoinder because he knew he couldn't contest me on that, so he decided to pivot. Now, insofar as this type of thing where you want to say, oh, the definitions are absurd, right? I actually deny this, by the way. Most Christians and most theists would actually sign off on the fact that God is a necessary being, right? So you're confused on that end, buddy. Now, he also failed to answer the question of why can't we be a doxastic illimitabist insofar as the agents here aren't actually going to have belief states. They're going to have these type of computational states that they're adopting in order to organize experience and even, perform actions. He didn't answer that question. He failed to meet his burden of rejoinder on several things. This is terrible. I mean, I don't understand why he thought this would make him look good. Now I'm actually going to, just to consume my time here because he terribly lost. The whole recording is going to speak for itself on how badly he lost this, and this is getting posted on YouTube. When this gets posted on YouTube, everyone's going to watch the recording and actively see him die on recording or unalive for TikTok purposes. And yeah, man, I think I did what I needed to do. Lucario never shit talk me again because you just got low diff, negative diff. Actually, that shit was ass, bro. There were certain points in there where I could tell that you were fucking drowning and you had no way out. That was terrible for you. But yeah, I'm out of here.